Hi, I'm Chloe Klingler,
And I'm Sarah Michaelbust.
and today we're going to talk about Chapter 3 and how to make spoken English more understandable for ELL students. In this chapter, we meet a teacher named Jeff who has more ELL students in his classroom than he's ever had before. He normally reads the book Stone Fox aloud, but worries that it won't be understandable for those ELL students. As he reads the book aloud, he discusses tips and strategies on how to make English more understandable and ways to assess whether those strategies have increased the comprehension for ELL students. The chapter also touches on how to avoid burning out and not enjoying teaching when there's extra work involved due to trying to reach students who speak different languages. Utilizing and building student background knowledge is an important step in helping build meaning for ELL students. Hands-on activities are a great way to build background knowledge. Jeff, before reading the book, was aiming to establish some key ideas and terms. He wanted to introduce dog sledding and did this through a hands-on activity. Students went outside and took turns pulling each other in a wine crate by a rope so that they could begin to conceptualize the idea of a dog sled and the strength it took to pull it. Introducing key vocabulary early is another way to build student background knowledge. As the students were pulling one another in the makeshift dog sled, Jeff introduced vocabulary words so that the students began to get familiar with the words. This hands-on activity created a solid foundation for the students to begin conceptualizing one of the main aspects of the book, dog sledding. For students with low English proficiency, not including visuals such as pictures and videos and read aloud often means that there's no story for them. There are many different venues which you can support reading through, like videos, images, speech, movement, music, all of which provide ELL students with a rich mix of meaning building cues so that they can understand the reading better. After the box setting activity before starting the book, Jeff showed detailed pictures and videos of the key vocabulary words that he introduced during the activity to extend meaning so that the students had something to relate the new vocabulary to as they were reading the book.
A key idea taken away from this chapter is to include first language support whenever possible, as this is essential to students to help them in forming connections between their own language and the language they are learning. Any book read that is not in a student's native language needs support and a lot of scaffolding. So that for the read alouds, ELL students needed the visuals, details, and keywords to help them make sense of the read alouds. To have ELL students build prior knowledge for the read aloud, having the students read the book first in their native language or watching parts of the movie in their native language can help them better interpret the story in English, as they can link the storyline and key concepts being read to what they've already read or seen in their own language. A big part of the read aloud was summarizing and paraphrasing for each chapter, and the 3 steps for this include summary, reading, and discussion. For the read aloud of the book Stone Fox, Jeff would first say a short summary about what will happen in the chapter, keeping it very short and simple. He would then read the chapter and summarize the chapter again, then repeat this for the next chapters. While reading the chapter to the class, Jeff would ask an ELL student and a native English speaker to help him in walking him through the actions occurring in the story. This helped Jeff to see that the ELL student was following along to the story, and if it seemed like the ELL students may struggle with a part of the text, Jeff would paraphrase the sentence for them. After each chapter, Jeff and the students discussed what they liked and disliked or what they found odd or confusing about the chapter. If ELL students used terms from the book during discussion, Jeff would link those words to pictures, objects, or movements so the rest of the students can understand the words better and its connection.
A read aloud has the ability to expand vocabulary, improve reading comprehension, and increase independent reading. Jeff addressed an idea called power words that he uses in his classroom. Power words are words that you really want to use and that will make writing and speech more lively and communicative. In his classroom, students share their power words and use them in their writing activities and in talking with peers. This helps them develop vocabulary and learn more words. Something that I really liked that Jeff said and stuck out to me was that a solid superstructure needs to be built around the book so that students are able to climb in and out of the book. He's describing building meaning for students through vocabulary, first language support, summaries, visuals, background knowledge, and more.
As a teacher, it is important to know that the strategies used to make the English language more understandable to ELO students are working. Jeff knew his strategies were working when students created spin-off stories, sharing and discussing the feelings about a dramatic part in the book, and they even related the story to something in their life. Through the use of primary language material, visuals, objects, movements, power words, summarizing and paraphrasing, the ELO students in Jeff's class were able to better understand the read aloud. From this read aloud, both the ELL and native English speaking students were able to improve in their literacy skills. It is also important to know that through this process, you're never alone, and that making accommodations in lesson plans or read alouds for ELO students does not need to be as stressful as it seems. To avoid burnout, it is important to recognize the resources available, such as going to other teachers for advice or strategies, using the public libraries to find video sources for support in the read aloud, or having the students create materials themselves for visuals used during the read aloud. Our question for you guys to think about is, what strategies and techniques would you like to use in your future classroom beyond offering the occasional definition or paraphrase to contextualize your spoken language and boost comprehension? Thank you.
Thank you.